Are you ready for one of my favorite math tasks to do with students either at home or at school? Thanks so much for joining us. This is Shannon from SAS, the number 4 teachers.org. In this tutorial video, we're going to be talking about how to integrate a math task using some fraction concepts. And I just named it Peeps. Everyone loves Peeps around the Easter holiday. Who doesn't love marshmallows, right? The idea of this task that we're going to get into is going to integrate the 8 math practices that you see kind of going along the bottom here with the process standards to help get kids to apply math. If you're not familiar with how to use math tasks, make sure you check out our tutorial video that gives an introductory and how you might go about teaching this in your home or at school. We're going to start off with an anticipatory set talking about Peeps, asking if kids have had Peeps and have you ever looked at the packaging of Peeps. I might even pull up on YouTube even a grocery store circular of some sort to see all the different ways that Peeps are sold. You certainly can extend tasks in any way that you see that you feel fit for the kids that you're working with. You could talk about going to Costco or Sam's Club and getting Peeps and how they might come in a bulk, level of it. So in our scenario, as I'm talking about it, I want to be familiar with what the task is as I'm talking to students about this particular task. And so the scenario here says that Peeps come in packages of 10. The teachers at your elementary school are going to go into a staff meeting, and they each around the holiday of Easter got their own package of Peeps. The teachers might be munching on it while the staff meeting's going on, but the teachers leave the staff meeting eating this much. So teacher A, you could put in Mrs. Miller if that's a teacher at your school. You can certainly adapt these any way that you want to. Ate half of her Peeps. Teacher B ate 4/5 of her Peeps. Teacher C ate 7/10 of her Peeps. And then teacher D ate 5/10 of her Peeps. Now, the idea here as you're looking at the anticipatory set, whether it's a still frame photo or you, like I said, you go on Google and you search different things, is just to get them in the frame of reference of what we're talking about. You don't necessarily solve these all as a class, and you don't necessarily have to have this same resolution as that everyone solves it the same way. It's really more about the creativity and getting kids to persevere in solving problems to actually get them a little bit of productive struggle. I might allow kids in this case to be able to use a fraction tile kit of some sort to help them. You also can change the fractions in the problem to make it harder or easier based on the amount of Peeps that you might be talking about. This is an example of a possible solution. Maybe in the previous part of this, I used, a math work mat, and I started looking at how to solve it with using it with, fraction tiles and using it to kind of break apart the task, or even kids might have some type of fraction pieces that are in your math salad bar at your school. And so I kind of explained out, my 10 pieces and sort of put a red block over how much they ate to sort of show how much was left. It's also a really great extension of this task to ask how many they ate and how many there are left. So teacher A ate 5/10. Teacher B, I ended up converting this into tenths to make it easier, ate 8/10, which was equal to her 4/5. And I kind of showed that with my bar, really taking that tenths and breaking it into fifths and showing that there's 2/10 in each fifth. Then I did a 7/10, kind of covering it, and the 5/10 were a little bit easier to kind of cover. And so I was able to add all of those together to see that they ate 25th tenths. Then we kind of put that into about how many packages they ate, which was 2.5. Through my visual, I would be writing on my second page the things that I'm seeing, the things that how did I know that teacher A and teacher D ate the least? I know that teacher B ate the most, and kind of giving some explaining that can kind of go with that. At the bottom of our task, we kind of have a chart for kids to help refer to, to draw a picture or a chart. The math salad bar in all of our schools is open, meaning you can go grab a manipulative to help you solve this task. There's a written explanation to show exactly what your thinking was, and you're able to show the number sense. Here in my example, I've really shown this by really drawing the picture and showing the math that I'm doing. I always need to also do a written explanation for this, asking about, do you think your answer is reasonable? And maybe is there a different way that you could solve this? Some kids might right away know that 5/10 and a half is equal to the same, that they don't have to even think about it, so they know right away who ate the least. Some kids might reason that there's no way that the 7/10 has got to be more than half because 5/10 is half, so 7/10 is greater. And then obviously, if I'm looking at the 4/5, you might think about what half is, and it's about 2.5 fifths, quote unquote, that would get you to the half. So I know that those are larger. And so getting kids to really reason in that way really helps them to know whether or not they really understand that task in some ways. You could certainly substitute this task with a chocolate bar or something else that has a quantity to it to kind of get that idea. And like I said, kind of, we call it milking a problem or a task for all it's worth, talking about what is left over, how many Peeps packages, are left over. Obviously, if they've solved that 2.5, they've figured that out, but they might need to add in my case, the blue bars that you see here. So it's a really fun task to do with Peeps. I hope you let us know how the task has gone in your classroom or at home. And then you also visit our website at SAS4teachers.org. We have a lot of great resources for you. Join us on any of your social media channels from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn, all with the same handle at SAS4teachers. Thanks so much for joining us.